Hey everyone, does this look familiar? Well, that's why I'm going to focus on posture today. If you saw my post for today's session, maybe you saw this. I'm going to put it right up close, and I don't know if you can read it, but basically it's showing a person looking down at a phone with varying degrees of internal rotation and head tilt. And what those numbers are showing that you probably couldn't read, but the more you tilt the head, the heavier your head becomes. Now your head doesn't actually change weight, but the apparent strain on your neck and shoulder and upper back muscles does change. So a normal head weighs about 12 pounds, so if you've got a perfectly aligned posture, you're going to be holding up the weight of 12 pounds. So that's already working those muscles in the neck, shoulders, and upper back. Well, if you get to this point where you're 60 degrees down, the apparent weight of your head is 60 pounds. Now think of what that is doing to those muscles in the neck and shoulders. So that little device that is so prevalent, and its bigger brother, the tablet, and its even bigger brother, the computer, is causing a generation of people that have pain in their neck and shoulders and upper back. So I'm going to show you some poses to strengthen that area. But the one thing that you can do, if you take away one thing from today's practice, is habit. So I can give you all those poses to help the strength, but if you're still doing this, you're still going to have pain. So I'm going to pick up that phone one more time. So if you're texting, then yes, your head is going to probably be down. But if you're not texting, and a lot of times what we're doing with this little device is not actually typing on it, it's just looking at it, or maybe scrolling with one thumb. If you can do one thing, everyone, pretend you're holding a device and hold it with your head looking down at it. And now bring the device up to the height of your collarbone. Did you feel a change? So I know this may look weird, but if we all start doing it, it won't be weird anymore. If you're just looking at your phone, don't look at it down here, look at it here. Or if you're just scrolling with your thumb, scroll at it up here. Stop looking down, stop hanging your head. So that's the one takeaway I can give you to help your posture. Make it a habit, it's gotta be a habit. All right, let's start. Props today. Props, you need, just for two poses at the very end, either a yoga block or you could use a cushion. I've got a cushion back there. I could use that in place. I'm going to show it with a block, but you can absolutely use a small pillow from your sofa or from your patio furniture. So I'm going to set that down. It's for the very end. Second prop is a hand towel. So have your normal hand towel, and we're going to be folding it in different ways today. So we're going to use it standing up as well. So have it available to you standing up. We don't need a strap. Some of the poses that we'll do with our hand towel are ones that we often do with a strap, but we're going to use our hand towel as just kind of a jack of all trades today. Let's start with a hand gesture, and today's hand gesture is called Merudanda. Now when we sit with our legs extended forward and our body looks like an L, that's called Dandasana in Sanskrit, or a staff pose. And danda means rod or stick, and think about that rod or stick being your spine. So here's the hand gesture. It's just thumbs up. There it is in front of my shirt. Thumbs up. Draw your elbows in, shoulders down. Thumbs up pose. Merudanda. Thinking about the energy and the alignment of our spine. Shake out your hands, and let's go into our spinal warm-up. Let's set up our mountain pose. Make your feet the number 11, tennis ball distance between the big toes. There's going to be more about mountain pose in just a minute, but let's set it up like we normally do, stacking everything over the heels. Knees, hips, shoulders, and ears. Draw your shoulder blades into your back pockets, and this is just one posture that you can do over and over, and make it a habit to not do this, but instead do this. Strengthen those muscles, make it a habit. Let's elongate to start. Inhale, reach up as high as you can. Exhale, float the arms down. Do that again. Inhale, stretch. Twice more. Bend the knees if you want. Add a little activation for those lower body muscles. One more time. Elongate and release. Going into standing cat and cow. Bend the knees, bend the hips. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, reverse the curve. Pinch the shoulder blades together. Do that again. Standing cat, standing cow. Your body is an ocean wave. Ebb and flow. One more. Release to stand tall. Bring both hands above your head. Going into lateral flexion. Dip one elbow down and then the other. Elbows are out to the side. Think about the side body stretching. Think about the rib cage that's lifting, the side of the body that's lifting. One more each side. Release to center and release down. Slow motion, sprinter arms. One arm forward, opposite elbow back, and switch. The arm coming forward straightens out, and really get a stretch through the shoulder by reaching those fingertips forward. Engage the abdominal muscles as you twist. Protect the low back. One more each arm. And release. Shake it out. All right, standing back tall in mountain pose. Draw those ears over the shoulders, stack them over the heels, and we'll do some neck turns. Inhale, center. Exhale, turn your head to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, turn your head to the left. Inhale, center. Do that one more time. Exhale to the right, and center, and to the left, and center. And now we're going to add a tilt. Tilt the right ear towards the right shoulder. Take your left fingertips. Splay your fingers and press down and away. Feel that deeper stretch down the side of the neck and top of the shoulder. If you want to enhance the stretch, take just your right index finger and place it on the left side of the head. Add the pressure of one finger, not too much. One more breath cycle. And release. Come back to mountain pose. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Tilt the left ear to the left shoulder. Take your right hand, push it down and away. Splay the fingers wide like a star. And if you want that extra enhancement, take just the index finger of the left hand, place it on the right side of the head, and add the pressure of one finger. Breathe. Release back to mountain pose. Give everything a shape. Set your mountain pose again, and we're going to change the balance on our mountain pose just to see how that feels so we can really feel the centering of mountain pose. So it's a little bit of a balance pose. Shift your weight forward under the balls of the feet. Don't lift your heels, just shift the weight forward. And now shift the weight back on the heels. Come back to center. Shift the weight over to the left. We're on the outside edge of the left foot and the inside edge of the right. Shift it over to the right. Come back to center. Let's do that one more time. Shift the weight forward on the balls of the feet. Shift the weight back on the heels. Shift the weight over to the left. Shift the weight over to the right. And now find center. And now you really feel the centering of your mountain pose. Let's do another thing to help our mountain pose. Let's use a wall. If you don't have a wall within the view of your screen, watch me first and then go to the wall. I'm going to back up against the wall and place my heels right up against the wall. And then I'm going to place my scapula, my shoulder blades, up against the wall. And my bottom automatically touched. As soon as I placed my scapula against the wall, my bottom touched. And now the occipital ridge, the placement of your skull where it bends in, touch that to the wall as well. Palms facing forward. Mountain pose. Now feel this alignment. It might feel weird. Notice that your calves are not touching the wall. If they are, I'll push it back. I'm hyperextending the knee joint. So don't let your calves touch. There's a little space. So keep the knees soft. Heels touch. Bottoms touch, scapula touches, and the back of the head. And now while you're here, maybe you think, wow, I really aligned this really great. Let's go ahead and do one more thing. Feel the space between your shoulder blades. Imagine there's a pencil there, and pinch the pencil. Did you get a little more external rotation? Yes, you probably did, because you weren't all the way back. There was still a little bit more to give. So create that habit of pinching a pencil. Think about it. If you think you're in line at Publix and you feel like you're sagging like this, pinch a pencil. That's one little cue that you can think about. Let's come back away from the wall. Let's stay at the wall actually and do down dog at the wall for a nice shoulder stretch. When you're doing down dog at the wall and your hands are on the wall, I want you to think, and you're going to splay your fingers wide like I'm showing here. I want you to think that the wall has a rip right down between your hands, a vertical rip, and you're trying to rip that wall apart. You're so strong. You're Superman, Superwoman. So let's come into our position where we're facing the wall. Feet are hip distance apart, making the number 11 with your feet. Place your hands on the wall with big stars, and then walk back to create the letter L. Bring your ears close to your arms. Splay your fingers, and now rip the wall. Feel the energy through your scapula and upper back. Relax for a second. Rip the wall again. Rip it. Push your hips back, but don't hyperextend the knees. Keep the knees soft. Feel that stretch in the back body. Take one more breath cycle. Bend the knees. Walk towards the wall to release. And now come back to your normal spot on the mat. Give it a shake. We're going to go into some little rotation here for the shoulder joint, working on mobility. Touch all the fingertips to the shoulders with the elbows out to the side. And we're going to make circles with the elbows. So draw the elbows up and then forward to kiss and then down and away. Do that again. Go at your own pace. Kiss the elbows and then separate. Kiss and separate. One more. Pause when they kiss and we'll reverse. Up and away, down and kiss. Up and away, down and together. One more. Kiss and release. Roll the shoulders back. We're going to go into reverse prayer. I'm going to turn around. I'll come a little bit closer so you can see my arms behind my body. First, let's just hold your own hand behind your body. Just getting a nice opening through the fronts of the shoulders. Now you can continue to progress this and get more of a stretch and more opening by crawling your hands to the wrists. You saw my shoulders come back a little bit. Now my wrists are being held. And now, if you want to go further, you can crawl up the forearms, maybe all the way to the elbows or close to the elbows. Watch my shoulders. Yes, they continue to go back. They continue to externally rotate. And I'm at the elbows now. If you didn't get to the elbows, that's okay. Maybe you got partway there, that's okay too. If you want to take the last expression of this pose, and you don't have to, you're already getting a really nice external rotation and stretch here. But if you want to try reverse prayer, bringing your hands to that prayer position, it may not be accessible. If not, then stay where you are. But if you can, come into that external rotation with the hands in prayer position, getting a stretch for the wrists, the shoulders, and the chest. Or stay with the hands at the elbows, that's fine too. One more breath cycle. And release. Shake it out. Go ahead and grab your hand towel. We're going to wear it like a scarf. Just have it around your neck. We don't need it for the first pose, but we'll use it for the second one. We're going to go into half forward fold. So just make sure it's not going to fall off. And one way you know it's not going to fall off is your head's not going to go below your hips. So we're only going to half forward fold. Scoop the air up. Exhale, fold from the hips. Let your hands land on your hips. Maybe just below the knees, but nothing further than that. You're making the letter L. Your gaze is forward of your feet, not straight down. Imagine there's a beverage on the back of your neck. Don't let it fall off. Don't block out your knees. There's a little softness in the knees. Breathe. One more breath cycle. Bend the knees and rise up. All right, we're going to add a little stretch for the shoulders, and we're going to take that into a wide stance forward fold. So come wide on your mat. Externally rotate. Toes out, heels in. Hands on your hips. We are only going to flat back, nothing lower than flat back. So start to bend those hips. We're at flat back. Don't lock out your knees. Your knees are slightly soft. You should be able to wiggle them a little bit. Don't push them back. And now take your scarf, your hand towel, bring it behind your body. Both hands holding onto the towel and about hip width apart. We're going to take those hands up in the air. Adding a shoulder stretch here. Your gaze is forward of your feet. You've got a beverage on the back of your neck. Don't let it fall. Breathe. Return the hands to the body. Soften the knees and rise up. Walk your feet together. We're going to use our towel a few more times here. So sometimes we do halo pose and we hold our own hand. Using a towel makes it a little bit easier because we've got a separation now between our hands. That gives us a little bit more mobility. So take that towel, holding it between your hands so that when you extend your arms forward, they are straight in front of your shoulders. So you don't want to be out here wider than your shoulders, and you don't want to be here smaller than your shoulders. So set it up so that your hands are right in front of your shoulders. Set your mountain pose. Remember that centering feeling? You've got the weight on the balls and the heels of the feet, and we'll start our figure 8. Dip down to the right, dip down to the left. Now I'm going to challenge you to go into the halo pose today because you've got the prop of your hand towel. So next time you go down to the right, keep going to the right, behind the right ear, up and around. Twice more, make a halo over your head. One more time, come back in front of the chest. And now we'll make our figure 8s again, starting with the left. Left and right. We'll be doing that halo around the left here this time. So next time you dip down to the left, keep going to the left, over that left ear, up and around. Second time, make that halo up and around. One more time, up and around, and release. Nice stretch for the shoulders there. Take your towel behind your body. I'm going to turn sideways just so you can see. But again, if my hands are about hip distance apart, and they're just slightly lower than my hips, we're going to push the hands away. I'll stand at a tiny bit of an angle. You don't have to, this is just so you can see. Setting those feet, again, number 11. Set your shoulders over your heels, and now push the towel away and bring it back to your body. Do that again. Push away, come back twice more. Push away, come back. Last one. Push away, come back. And now keeping the towel close to your body, we're going to slide the towel upwards. Holding onto it, slide it up, elbows go out to the side, slide it back down. Coming about up to the height of the waistband. Lift up above the gluteal muscles to the waistband and back down twice more. Slide up, slide down, slide up, slide down. And now making that a combo move 4 times, we'll push out and then slide up. Here we go. Push out, slide up and down. Push out, slide up and down. Twice more. Push out and in, lift up and down. Last one. Push out and in, lift up and down, and release. We're going to use this again later, so set it on your mat. Keep it close by. And we'll do one more standing pose here before we do a layer cake. And then we're going to take it down to the mat. So we're going to do camel pose, a nice opening for the front body here. Again, externally rotating, going into a spinal extension. So we're spinal extending. We always want to lift the rib cage. Always lift before you go into your extension. 3 positions of the hands. Make a gentle fist and take the knuckles to the top of the pelvis. Drop the shoulders down, lift the rib cage up. Inhale into your baby back bend. And exhale, release. Changing the hands. Take your thumbs to the top of the pelvis. Wrap the 4 fingers. Shoulders down, rib cage up. Inhale, baby back bend. Exhale, release. Last position. Take your 4 fingers pointing down at the top of the pelvis. Thumbs wrap. Drop those shoulders down. Lift the rib cage up. Inhale into your baby back bend. Exhale, release, and shake it out. All right, we're going to go into our little layer cake, and then we'll take it down to the mat. Our layer cake does not start in mountain today. It starts in warrior 2. So step wide and turn your right toes all the way out to the right. line up your knee over your second toe and take the long edge of your foot, make it parallel to the skinny edge of your mat, and put your heels on a balance beam. Your heels are lined up. Throw that left shoulder back and extend into your warrior two. Keep your body centered, so line up those shoulders over those hips. We'll go into reverse warrior two 3 times. Inhale, lift the right hand up. Exhale, warrior two. Second time, inhale, lift up, stretch the side body, back to warrior two. One more time, inhale, lift up, back to warrior two. Adding on, we're going to add on a bound side angle. So that means your left arm is going to come behind your body and your right elbow is scooping down. Let's do reverse first. Reverse, and now bring that right elbow down and take your left hand behind. Bound side angle. Back to warrior two. Reverse, bound side angle. One more time, starting in warrior two. Reverse, and bound side angle. Back to warrior two. We're going to add extended side angle, so that arm that's behind the body is going to shoot up over the head, getting a nice stretch down the left side body. Start in warrior two, reverse, bound side angle, extended side angle, and warrior two. Second time, reverse, bound side angle, extended side angle, and warrior two. One more time, reverse, bound side angle, extended side angle, and warrior two. Finishing off with triangle pose. We don't have our prop right next to our foot, so you can keep it a baby triangle. We'll just be straightening that front leg and sliding the hand on the inner right thigh. So starting back in warrior two, align, reverse, bound side angle, open that shoulder, extended side angle, open the side body, and now straighten the right knee, baby triangle or a deeper triangle. Bend the knee back to warrior two. Twice more, reverse, bound side angle, open the shoulder, extended side angle, and triangle. Bend the knee, warrior two. Last time, reverse, bound side angle, extended side angle, and triangle. Bend the knee, come up to warrior two, relax the arms, step the feet together, give the legs a little break, and we'll do that same sequence on the other side, and then we'll be taking it to the mat. Step wide, rotate your left toes towards the left, point that knee over the second toe, push your right heel back, line up the long edge of the foot to the skinny edge of your mat. Put your heels on a balance beam. Throw that right shoulder back, extend into warrior two, and we'll reverse 3 times. Right hand down, left hand up, and back to warrior two. Second time, stretch the side body, warrior two. And one more time, reverse, and warrior two. Adding on our bound side angle, your left arm will go down and the right hand will go behind the body. Starting with reverse, bound side angle, open that right shoulder, and back to warrior two. Reverse, bound side angle, back to warrior two. One more time, reverse, bound side angle, and back to warrior two. Adding on extended side angle. Reverse, bound side angle, and now the right arm shoots over the head, extended side angle, and back to warrior two. Second time, reverse, bound side angle, extended side angle, and warrior two. Last time, reverse, bound side angle, extended side angle, and warrior two. Last one we'll add is our triangle. You can make it a baby triangle, or you can make it a more intense triangle. Reverse, bound side angle, extended side angle, And now that arm goes straight up as we straighten the left knee. Maybe keep it low or draw it up on the inner thigh. Triangle, Trikonasana. Bend that left knee, come back to warrior two. Active arms. Second time. Reverse. Bound side angle. Extend. Active arm. Reach those fingertips. Straighten the knee. Baby triangle or a more intense version. Bend the knee, come back to warrior two. Last one. Reverse. Bound side angle. Extended. And triangle. Bend the knee, come up out of your warrior, relax the arms, walk the feet together. Good work, my friends. We're going to go into poses on the mat. We're going to use a forward fold to get there. So I'm going to go ahead and move the computer now. And I'm going to use, you can see I've got a red mat. I'm going to see if I can get a little bit more space today by angling my body. We'll see if it works. Go ahead and move your computer if you're ready to do that. And we are going to come into a forward fold. So make the number 11. Start to bring your hands just below your knees. There's my head. I didn't leave you. If you can, keep your legs straight as you reach your hands all the way to the floor. If you need to bend your knees, go ahead. Once you bend your knees, once your fingers touch, see if you can re-straighten those knees. And then look towards your knees. Don't hyperextend the knees, so don't lock them backwards like that. Keep a little softness to those knees. Breathe. And we're going to come down to table. So bend the knees, flatten the palms, and bring your knees down to the mat. I'm going to use a little knee pad. You are welcome to do the same as we come into table pose. Big stars with your hands. And we're going to go into cat and cow, but let's start with neutral spine. Let's set the alignment of our table pose. Lift up out of your shoulders like you're pushing the mat into the earth. Toenails are relaxed on the mat. There's a beverage on the back of your neck. Don't let it fall in neutral spine. Inhale. And now don't worry about your beverage. We're going to exhale into cat. Round your back, tuck your chin, and then reverse. Inhale. Draw the heart forward, lift up out of your shoulders. Go at your own pace between cat and cow. Inhaling and exhaling. Your exhale is in cat when your navel draws up into your body, and your inhale is in cow when you're lengthening the front body. Bend the elbows if you want. Get some more mobility. Let's do one more pattern. And then return to neutral spine. That beverage is on the back of your neck again. You're looking towards the top of your mat. Let's shift the hips back, not all the way back into child's pose, just a few inches back. And then shift the hips forward. And now back, behind the knees, forward in front of the knees. Do that one more time. Back, behind the knees, and forward in front of the knees. Reset, stacking the hips above the knees. Lift up, and we're going to go into bird dog. This is a great pose to strengthen the back of the body, especially the muscles along the spine, the erector spinae muscles. So keep lifting up out of the shoulders, keep pushing the mat into the earth, and send your left foot back. Curl the toes onto the mat. Find your centering. Don't let this left hip start to open up to the side. Keep the hip pointed down towards the earth, and now flex the left foot and float it off the mat. If you can, bring the heel up to hip height. Keep lifting up out of those shoulders. You can stay here, or you can add the balance component, sending that right arm forward. Keep lifting up out of the left arm. Breathe, energizing through the back body. One more breath cycle. Keep the leg up, put the hand down. Relax the foot, give it a shake, and we're doing an upwards pulsing motion, but keep lifting up out of those shoulders. Don't lose that. We'll lift it up 5 times. Lift and back to hip height. 4 more, 3 more, 2 more. Last one. Knee down. and release. Brief child's pose to give your wrists a break. We're going to do that on the second side, that bird dog pose with the leg lifts. So come back into your table, spread those hands wide, push into the earth, stack wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, and step your right foot back, curling the toes onto the mat so you can lift up out of the shoulders, and then float that heel up. If you can, get it up to hip height. Keep lifting up through the shoulders. Let your gaze be towards the top of the mat. Breathe. Adding a balance component if you can. Send that left arm forward. Keep lifting up out of the right shoulder. Imagine your fingertips are reaching as far forward as you can, and your right heel is pushing away, actively engaging the muscles on the back of the right leg. Breathe. Place the hand down, leave the foot up in the air, but relax it. It's no longer flexed. Keep lifting up out of the shoulders, and we'll lift the straight leg 5 times. Lift it up, bring it back to hip height. 4 more, 3 more, 2 more. Last one, knee down, and a brief child's pose to roll out those wrists. I'm going to take this into down dog and plank. 2 poses that energize and strengthen the back body. Because again, we're talking about strengthening those muscles that give us our good posture. But what do you need to do? Create the habit. Come back into your table. Step both feet back, curling the toes onto the mat. Exhale the hips up to the sky. Lift up through the armpits. Let your ears be close to your arms. So don't tilt your head forward to look up at the mat, and don't swing your head in to look at your knees. You're looking kind of directly at the space behind your wrists, and your ears are close to your arms. Engage the muscles of the legs by pushing the thigh bones into your legs. Breathe. Remember that rip in the wall when we did down dog at the wall? Find that rip again. Actively, that's harder here because you're bearing more weight, but actively separate your hands, not really, but in your mind. Use the muscles like you're pulling your hands away from each other. 1 more breath cycle. And now shift forward into plank. Lift up, just like in table. Lift up through the shoulders. Push the heels away from you like you did in bird dog. Breathe. If you need to come down to your knees here like this, go ahead and relax the toes, but stay active. Active through the shoulders. Active through the back body. If you can, come back into your toe plank at any point. Give yourselves a rest if you need it. We're going to take 3 more breath cycles here. Last breath cycle. Everyone lower the knees, lower the elbows, and lower the body. Relax the toenails to the mat. We're going to go into Sphinx pose. So set up your arms so your shoulder is over your elbows. Keep your hands separated so you're not holding your own hand. Your hands are separated. Tall spine. We're going to go into Sphinx pose 3 times. Everything stays connected to the mat. We're just growing through the shoulders. Inhale, grow through the shoulders. Exhale, relax. Inhale, grow through the shoulders. Exhale, relax. 1 more, grow through the shoulders. Stay here, keep breathing. Bend your right knee. Release. Bend your left knee. Keep breathing, keep lifting. Release. 1 more time each side. Bend the right knee. Release. Keep lifting. Bend the left knee. Release and take a rest. Go ahead and rest your head on the mat. And we're going to go into half bow. We're going to back up just a tiny bit here. We're going to go into half bow pose. If you know full bow and you want to do it twice, you can. I'm going to be modeling half bow, which is when you grab 1 foot with 1 hand. You can do it with both feet, but I'm going to model half bow, so you'll end up doing it twice. Extend your arms forward. Gaze forward, not straight down like this, but gaze slightly forward. Remember that your neck is just an extension of your spine, so try to always keep it aligned. So don't hang your head like this. Remember that picture I showed you of how much additional weight you're putting on the muscles by hanging your head. So don't hang your head. Keep it part of your spine. Unless it's part of a specific pose and we're doing it to gain a benefit somewhere else. But then we're not doing it for any length of time either. All right, bend your left knee, reach back, connect left hand to left foot. Keep your right arm extended. Remember, when you lift that thigh off of the mat, don't let it splay open. So don't let the knee come out towards the edge of the mat. You want to keep it aligned with the hip as if it was pushing in towards the midline. So gaze is forward and down. Neck is aligned with the spine. On your next inhale, float your left thigh and your right arm. Breathe. Spine is long, ribcage lifting. One more breath cycle. Release, take a resting pose. And we'll go to the other side. Arms extended. Bend your right knee, reach back, connect right hand to right foot. Gaze is slightly forward. Remember, don't let the knees splay open. You're pressing towards midline. Keep the pubic bone pressed into the mat. On your next inhale, lift the right thigh and the left arm. Press the pubic bone into the mat. Lift the rib cage away from the hips. Don't let the knees splay open. One more breath cycle. And release. Take a resting pose. We're going to go into another spinal extension here, cobra pose. We'll do it 3 times. Bring your hands directly beneath your shoulders. Press the pubic bone into the mat. Toenails are resting on the mat. As you lift up, imagine that your elbows are pulling backwards. In fact, imagine that you're pinching that pencil between your scapula. That's a great image. So think about that pencil. On your next inhale, lift the chest. Pinch the pencil. Shoot that rib cage forward of your hips and then release. Second time, we'll add a rotation to the left. On your next inhale, lift the chest, pinch the pencil, look over your left shoulder. Look over your right shoulder and take a rest. We're going to add a rotated prone pose here. So set your feet wide as the mat. Set your arms up towards the top corners of your mat. We're going to be rotating onto our right hip. Keep this right arm active. The left arm is going to lift up. So press that right palm and the right elbow into the mat. Lift your left arm. Start to lift it up overhead. Roll onto your right hip. Your feet are scissor arms now. Go up as high as you can, maybe even behind your body a little bit. Breathe. One more breath cycle. And rotate back down. Bring the pelvis back down to the mat. Let the toenails come back to the mat. We'll do that to the other side. Keep this left arm actively pushing into the mat. Hand and elbow pressing into the mat. Start to float your right arm off the mat. Roll onto your left hip, lifting that arm up. Your feet will scissor. Maybe you can bring that arm further back. Breathe. Keep that left arm pressing into the mat, active arm. And roll back down. Draw your hands towards you. We're going to take a child's pose. So go ahead and sink your hips back towards your feet. Keep your arms forward today for child's pose. And this is one where we do allow the head to bow, but go ahead and let it rest. So you're not trying to let the muscles do all the work. Rest your forehead. Press through the back body. Press the low back out and away. Let's add rotation. Walk your hands to the left edge of your mat. Push your hips to the right. And again, rest your head. Don't let those muscles support the hanging head. Rest the head against the shoulder or the arm. And we'll switch. Walk your hands over to the right edge of your mat. Push the hips to the left. Rest the head against the arm or shoulder. Getting a nice stretch in the hip and the QL, quadratus lumborum muscle. One more breath cycle. Come back to center, and we're not done. We're coming back onto our belly again. Lots of prone poses today because we are strengthening the back body, really focusing on the back body today. I took off my glasses because this next pose is your forehead's going to be on the mat. So before you take off your glasses and you can't see, and before you put your forehead on the mat, let me show you what it looks like. You're going to be sweeping your arms from a forward position above your head to behind your body, behind your hips, kind of like a snow angel, but lying on your belly. So let me show you what that looks like. Forehead down, pinky fingers touching, sweeping the arms behind, thumbs touching, coming back, pinkies touching. So go ahead, come into position, take off your glasses if you're wearing glasses for this pose so that you're not going to push your glasses into the mat. Touch your forehead to the mat, bring your arms forward of your head, and then float them off the mat. Pinkies touch, reach behind, thumbs touch. Come forward, pinkies touch. Come behind, thumbs touch. One more time, forward, pinkies touch. Behind, thumbs touch. Rest your hands on the mat. Lift your head off the mat, and we're going to go into thread the needle pose. So lift up onto your knees again. Set your table pose, spread your fingers wide, lift up out of your shoulders. Keep the pressure on your left hand, but float your right hand. Flip the palm to face up and thread it behind that left arm, lowering your shoulder and head down to the mat. Today we're just going to do two variations of this pose. One is an external rotation, so take that left hand, put it behind your body, opening up the front of the shoulder. And now take that hand and put it on top of the right hand and straighten out that top arm, lengthening from the shoulder down to the fingertips. One more breath cycle. And place that left hand back onto the mat. We're going to do a counter stretch. So as you unthread the arm, lift it all the way up to the sky. Counter stretch. And then bring it back down. We'll do that thread the needle pose on the other side. Lift up through the shoulders. Keep the pressure on the right hand. Lift up your left. Flip the palm. Thread it behind your right. Lower the head and shoulder. Variation 1. Take your right hand behind your body. And variation 2, put that right hand on top of the left. Lengthen from the shoulder down to the fingertips, straightening that top arm. And then take that right hand back down onto the mat. Unthread the arm, and as you unthread, lift it all the way up to the sky. Counter stretch. Breathe. And release it back down. Going into puppy pose here. Walk the hands forward. Just like in down dog, bring your ears close to your arms. Lift up through the armpits. Keep your hips high. Melt the heart, but keep your hips high and keep lifting through the armpits. Lower the elbows. Push those hips back. Feel the separation in your upper back between the shoulder blades. One more breath cycle. Crawl your elbows back. Going into child's pose. Sink your hips back. We're going to add a thread, just like we did in thread the needle. We're adding a thread to our child's pose today. So take your right hand, shoot it behind your left, and lower the head. Crawl those fingertips further. Release. Placing that right elbow on the mat, lift up your left arm, shoot it behind your right. Lower the head,
Crawl those left fingertips away. And unthread. Lift up out of the pose. And we're going to come into some seated poses. We're going to be using our towel for a couple of our seated poses. So make sure your towel is close. We're done with our knee pad. Go ahead and extend your legs long into staff pose. Remember, Dandasana. Remember our hand gesture was Mudanda. So move the fleshy part of your bottoms away from your sits bones. Sit tall. Letting your hands rest on your thighs. Pinch your pencil. Yes, remember that cue. Pinch your pencil. Breathe. We're going to go into some shrubs. So relax your pencil pinch. Place your fingertips on the mat, just outside your hips, and then move them back 1 inch. Both hands back 1 inch. And now lift up with the shoulders and back down. Lift up, shrugging with the arms externally rotated and down. Once more. Shrug and release. Place your hands behind your head, cradling your head, elbows pointing out to the side. And we're going to open and close those elbows here. Keep pressure. The head is pressing against your fingers. And now kiss the elbows and open. Kiss the elbows. Keep the pressure against the hands with the head. One more time. Kiss the elbows and open. Release and roll those shoulders back. I'm going to turn sideways to you. You don't have to turn. We're coming into a bent knee sit. So bending the knees, feet are flat. I'm turning sideways so you can see. I added this white blanket here. I hope that makes it easier to see the difference when I'm wearing dark colored clothing. Bring your hands behind you with the fingertips pointing away from your hips. So you've got a nice opening through the chest here. And now just look over your knees. Don't look at your screen. Feel that nice opening. Maybe crawl your hands a tiny bit further away. And now here's the challenge. You can look at your screen while I do this just to see what I'm doing. I'm going to inch my hips a little bit closer to my heels. So just take a little walk with the sits bones. You're going to feel that change the stretch on your shoulders. Once you get to the point where you don't want to go any further, then don't. Listen to your shoulders. But I can go a little bit further here. Once you got to your stopping point, you don't need to look at your screen. You can look over your knees again. I can go pretty far here with my stretch, but you listen to your body. Breathe. One more breath cycle. Rotate your fingers out to the side, and then walk your hands back towards your hips, and come back into your staff pose. I'm going to do a little stretch here with our towel. So grab your towel, and I've got it folded down the long axis twice, so it's kind of skinny. And I'm going to take my right hand and put it at my collarbone, and then take the towel behind my head, and my left hand is up high. We're going to use the towel as a little device to help us get a stretch on the neck in a rotated configuration. So turn your head towards the right, looking over your right shoulder, and now press the towel on the left side of your head. And now press your head into the towel. One more breath cycle. Release the pressure, face front, and we switch the hands. Left hand is low, right hand is high, setting the towel against the side of the head. Turn the head to look over your left shoulder. Press the towel into the right side of the head, and now press the head into the towel. One more breath cycle, and release. Go ahead and set the towel down. We'll use it again in a moment for cow face. But let's do a twist here for the lower body here. Let's do half Lord of the Fishes, and we'll add some shoulder mobility. Draw the right foot in, step it across, sit tall, and hug that knee into the body. Use both arms to start to get a nice squeeze So you've got a good stretch on the outside of the thigh down into the hip. And now keep that squeeze going with your left arm, but take your right hand and dust your mat. Get a little shoulder mobility, a little motion going through that shoulder joint. If you want, change it to fan the air. And depending on your shoulder, you can change it again into rainbow up and over. Keep squeezing on that knee. Keep that stretch going on the outside of the right thigh. One more breath cycle. And we release to do this on the other side. Send that right foot forward, draw your left foot in, step it across. Sit tall, turn and hug the knee tightly in, get that nice stretch going. Don't lose that stretch now. Lift up through the rib cage, relax the shoulders, and allow your left hand to brush the mat. Keep squeezing that thigh in with your right arm. Change it if you like to fan the air. And if you want to take that last progression, rainbow the arm up and over. Move that synovial fluid across the shoulder joint. One more. And release. Come forward with the legs, and we're going to go into the upper body part of cow face, and we're going to add a variation to that. We're not using our strap today, we're using a towel just because we didn't have to have an extra prop, because everything can be done with our hand towel. So hold the hand towel in your right hand, lift it up to the sky, bend the elbow so the hand towel is behind your body, lined up with your spine, right behind your spine. Your right elbow is pointed up to the sky, so don't have it pointing out to the side, point it up to the sky. And now take your left hand and grab the towel below your waistband. I know some of you can probably crawl up higher, but we're specifically going to keep it low for the second variation of cow face today. So keep it low. Use that left hand to pull down on the towel, and your right elbow is going to move backwards slightly. Keep that left shoulder relaxed. Don't let it crawl up towards the ear. And we're stretching through the right triceps, the right armpit, and the right side of the chest. And now relax the tension, coming back to your first spot that you were in. And now we're going to move the right hand. Keep the hands with their same separation, so don't change the separation of the hands on the towel. And now start to straighten up that right elbow. Your left arm is going to slide up the body, and you've got a little tension still between it. And now pull down, bend the elbow again. And now lift up. Straighten the right elbow and pull down. Let's do it twice more. Lift up, bend, last one. Lift up, and bend, and release. As you release, you should feel a big release in that right shoulder there, really activating those muscles. And if you've got any locking going on, that should be a great release for that shoulder. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So hold your hand towel in your left hand, lift it up to the sky, bend the elbow, let the towel be behind your body. Left elbow's pointing up, not out to the side, but straight up. Reach behind, grab that hand towel below your waistband, just below the waistband, and now pull down so the left elbow moves back. Breathe, holding the stretch. One more breath cycle. And release the tension, coming back to your original spot. And now we're sliding up the body by straightening that left elbow, and your right arm slides up the body. Keep it close to the body. And now bend it again. We'll do it 3 more times. Straighten the left elbow, and bend. Straighten the left elbow, and bend. One more time. Straighten, and bend, and release. Roll the shoulders back. We're going to lie down for just a couple quick poses here. We're going to use 2 props for 2 poses. We are going to use our towel, so I'm going to take it from this long, I've still got it folded over twice in the long axis, and now I'm going to roll it up. So I'm going to create like a little mini pillow, and that'll be the pillow that goes under my head for supported fish. behind my shoulder blades, you can use either a yoga block or you could use any kind of a small pillow or cushion. I'm going to use the yoga block, but again, if you don't have one, you could use a small cushion. You could also use another towel, maybe a bath towel rolled up. All right, I'm going to turn sideways and lie down. You do the same. As you lie down, go ahead and take your block and put it right behind your shoulder blades. So find that spot, line up your shoulder blades, and then take your little rolled up towel, so as you bring your head down, that occipital ridge where your skull makes that little bend, go ahead and place that on top of your rolled up towel. Lengthen your legs out, palms open to the sky, supported fish pose. Breathe. Make sure your palms are open. You want that nice open feeling. Close your eyes. Take a few deep breath cycles here. Supported fish pose is a great pose to open up the front body. If you want to bring your arms all the way out into a T or maybe cactus arms, you can. Get a little more opening. Take 2 more breath cycles. And we're going to come out of this pose by bringing your elbows back to the mat so you can prop your body up off of that block or cushion, take it away, and lower back down. Place your rolled up towel behind your neck. So now your head is resting on the mat, but you've got this nice little cushion behind your neck. We're going to place the block beneath our hips, or the cushion. You can use the cushion as well, or a small pillow. Bend your knees, lift your hips slightly, and tuck the block right underneath your hips. We're going into a variation of legs up the wall pose without using the wall. So extend your legs to the sky, stacking your knees and heels over your hips. So don't draw your legs forward like this. Make that nice vertical line. Your feet are relaxed, so wiggle your toes. Let your shoulders fall into the mat. Breathe. In this pose, we're stimulating circulation to the upper body. This is a relaxing pose. One more breath cycle. Bend your knees. Lower the feet. Lift your hips off of your prop and set it off to the side. We're coming into relaxation now, so lengthen your legs. Maybe roll your neck across that little rolled up towel. Get a little massaging action going there. Feeling the rolled up towel. Ease a little tension from the muscles in the back of the neck. Remember, the head weighs about 12 pounds, so if it's in good alignment, those muscles are already working to hold up 12 pounds. As you start to bend that neck forward and internally rotate your shoulders, those muscles start to feel a heavier weight. Even though the weight of the head didn't change, the weight of the head will start to feel heavier. It'll start to feel like 30, 40, and maybe even 50 or 60 pounds on those very small muscles. Pause the motion and let's go into our full relaxation mode here. If you want to come into corpse pose, palms open to the sky. If you want to take a different relaxing pose, by all means. If you want to lie on your side, if you want to hug your knees, if you want to take a happy baby pose here, go ahead and find whatever pose is relaxing to you. We just have 1 minute left in our practice today, so enjoy this last minute of relaxation in whatever pose is good for you. Breathe.
survey your body. We really focused on the back body and the shoulders and the neck. But remember, if you don't remember any of these poses, the one takeaway I want you to have is that when you hold your phone, if you are just looking at it or just scrolling with your thumb, do not hold it down below your collarbone. Hold it up at the height of your collarbone, and you are already going to make a huge improvement in your posture. Remember the word habit. We have to change old habits into new habits, and that takes work. Remember pinching the pencil. Take one more breath cycle, and let's come back to a seated pose. Any way you want, a sit-up or roll to your side. Come to a comfortable seated pose. You can sit cross-legged or legs extended, and we'll finish with today's quote. Today's quote is from the former editor-in-chief of the Cosmopolitan magazine, Helen Gurley Brown, and she wrote, "Good posture is the one most important thing that anyone can do now to look better." So you don't have to buy fancy clothes, you don't have to have your hair fixed, you don't have to have special makeup. You can look better right now by pinching that pencil. So do it, my friends, make it your new habit. Bring your hands outside your hips, inhale to the sky, let your thumbs touch your mind, your spirit breath, and your body. The spirit in me honors the spirit in all of you. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you have some good posture tips. And remember, till next time, keep breathing and pinch your pencil.